All right, so today we're going to be talking about the Spoonacular API, and the reason we're doing that is to do a simple demo of JSON. So to make things a little bit easier on us so that we don't have to type out all the things, I've actually uploaded something onto GitHub. So if you go to github.com/sresht/lex6, you should be able to find all the code you need. So first, before we do anything, let's just go ahead and go into our Cloud9s. CD into your environment, so that's your working directory that we've been doing, and then do a git clone of that. And now you should be able to open up your lect6. And before we do anything, before we even open up the Python file, because we assume that this is a well-written README file, we're just going to open the README. And we're going to see what it says. It says this is a simple demo of JSON using the Spoonacular API. Good READMEs have a set of steps that show you exactly how to get everything working. So let's take a look and see. First of all, sign up for Spoonacular at spoonacular.com/fruitapi.com/console. So let's take that link and go here. And I'm actually already logged in, so this is probably what you're going to see. So then you're going to be able to sign up. If you haven't signed up already, go ahead and sign up for Spoonacular now. Pick an email address and whatever password works best for you. I've already done that, so I'm going to go ahead and sign in. I guess I have to go into the login flow and then log in there. Great. So now I see this, and that was step 0. Now let's go back and see what step 1 was. Step 1 was navigate to this and find your API key. This is secret, do not show to others. So I'm going to navigate to that and see what happens. Okay. So the profile probably has the API key, and it looks like it does. And I can show and hide the API key. Since I'm screencasting right now, I'm not going to press that button, but you should be able to do that yourself. Clone this repository by using git clone. We already did that, so we're good to go. In your local copy of this repository, create a new root level file called spoonacular.env. So this is our root of the directory itself of this repository. So a new root level file called spoonacular.env. So let's go to cd lect6, and then let's make a new file called spoonacular.env. Great. Just created that. For whatever reason it didn't open, but that's okay. Now that it's open, add the following line to spoonacular.env. So I'm going to copy this line right in here. I don't know why these tabs are here. You can choose not to have the tabs if you want. And I'm just going to go ahead and add this API key into the .env file. Okay, so now I've written out to the spoonacular.env file with my secret key. I've saved spoonacular.env, and now it says to run my Python file. So I'm going to open up the Python file, and then I'm just going to go ahead and run it. It didn't say anything about sourcing it. That's very interesting. Last lecture we talked about sourcing your env files, but I'll explain why we shouldn't have to source it in just a second. So let's go down here and run Python spoonacular api.py. Looks like it's a class ticked. Great, so something actually happened. Let's get rid of that type there. Now let's try it one more time. Awesome, so this looks like some recipe of some sort. So it looks like there's a title, cabbage salad, ready in some minutes, etc., etc. Awesome, cool. So this is really interesting, right? We didn't have to source anything like we did last time. And this was actually a suggestion made by a student. So one of the students in the class actually referenced this package from .env, import load.env, and then all of this code here. So all you have to do here, which is really, really cool, is you just have to add the name of the env file. So in our case, it's spoonacular.env. And all you have to do is add that here. You have to modify whatever the name of that is, and you don't ever have to source anything ever again. And then everything else is just going to work as long as we have our .env file configured properly. So at this point, that is just our basics of how to get the Spoonacular API, like some request going with it. So we've basically configured some parameters. So as you can see here, we did like some gluten-free parameter. Let's get rid of this diet equals gluten-free. We don't really care about that, right? Let's see what happens if we do that. I'm going to try running it now. Oh. My Cloud9 is acting up a little bit, but let's see if this works. Oh, we still have a type here for whatever reason. This came back to type. Okay, let's try it again. Great. Now we see a different thing. These are different. These are different recipes. We didn't filter by gluten-free or anything, so these are just recipes that are recommended to us. So as you can see, this is actually a JSON dictionary. So when we looked at the type and we printed the type before, that was a dictionary. So if we look in a dictionary, we need a key value pair. So obviously we see results, and then the key is results here, and then the value here is this giant array. Then we see a base URI, and then some other results thing. So the main thing that we're probably looking at is this results. So if we go in here, this is just a standard Python library. So we should be able to just do something like this. Let's see if that works. Great. Now we saw some results. You don't see results in there, you just see an array. So if we do a type of this, we would expect an array. And let's make sure on that. It's a list. Awesome. So that's exactly what we're doing. And then if we look at the first result in our list, let's just go ahead and do that now. So instead of a type, we want the first result in that list. So let's try something like that. And now we're seeing just the first result, which is cabbage salad, for example. So you can definitely do JSON in this format. You can basically just go in and be like, oh, I'm in a dictionary, I want this value. Or I'm in an array, I want the 0th value. That is definitely one valid way to parse JSON. It is a little tedious, but in the case of Spoonacular, where you have some amount of recipes, this is an easy way to do it. And this is definitely a viable thing to do, and you can definitely do this in your projects. Now this JSON that we have here, even if we end up printing it like the way that it is, it's not going to look super pretty or readable, right? So if we look at something like that, then this is like not the greatest way to read JSON. So let's do something a little bit better. Let's just add something here that says import JSON. And then inside of here, we can just do something like this. We can do json.dumps, and then JSON body, let's just give it this, and then we can say an indent equals 2, which basically means how many spaces are you going to indent. I believe that's what it means anyway. Let's try it now. That's a lot more readable. So now you should be able to say like, hey, I want the ID or something. So let's go ahead and try that. So again, we have this 0, and this is a little bit more readable. So let's try getting the ready in minutes for each of these. Something that looks like that. Again, this is just standard dictionary processes, so nothing fancy that's going on here. And we have 15 there. So again, we have ready in minutes 15, and we got that number as well. So JSON body or JSON.dumps will help you a little bit with just dumping the data in a much more readable way. So you might want to use this while parsing JSON as well.